everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name's Sophie and I would love it if you hit that big red subscribe button down below. Now this video is going to be a learn Spanish with me video, kind of like a study with me video, except I don't actually have any exams to study for and I'm going to be focusing on solely learning Spanish and improving my Spanish language skills. So I asked you all on Instagram if you would like to see this video and you said yes, so that's what I'm doing. And the reason that I am filming this video is just because I've been motivated to film this video by seeing videos on YouTube, lots of videos on YouTube where people were intensively trying to learn a new language, whether it be in the space of a week or a month. They spent that amount of time solely trying to focus on learning that new language. And yeah, although I'm not going to be learning a language from scratch like in those videos, I am going to be focusing on learning Spanish for today and just Spanish. Also, I thought this would be a good video to make because, well, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that I'm studying German, Spanish and French at university. And currently all of my assignments that I need to work on are in German, so it's very easy to focus on German and forget about Spanish and French. But I don't want to forget about Spanish and French. I am learning these languages for a reason, because I want to learn them, and also they are kind of part of my degree, and at some point I'm going to have work to do in Spanish and French as well, so I don't want to just forget about my Spanish and French, and I feel like it's quite easy to do that when all of my assignments are in German that I'm working on currently. So yeah, and also hopefully I'll be going to Spain to study abroad in September, but I feel like that's quite unlikely. So again, I feel like I really need to focus on learning Spanish, because if I do lose out on that time, what am I going to do to make up from that time that I would have been spending in Spain learning Spanish? So yeah, I'm going to focus on learning Spanish, and hopefully this video will motivate you to focus on learning a new language or continuing to further develop your skills in a foreign language that you are already learning. I just want to mention as well that this video is not going to be exactly like the videos which motivated me to film this video in the first place, because in those videos they were all learning these languages from scratch, whereas I'm not learning Spanish from scratch, and I already have a good ground with Spanish, I think. I don't know, I don't want to judge my Spanish, it definitely isn't the best and I definitely need to improve, but like I'm not going to be doing things like looking up the 1,000 most common words in Spanish like most people do in these learning a language intensively videos, just because I feel like I should know the majority of those words already. There's a chance I won't know them all, but I feel like I should know the majority of them, so I'm not going to be doing that. And yeah, also I just want to mention, I'm sorry if there's a lot of background noise going on in this video. I'm filming this video outside in my garden purely because I do not have a desk in my room at my parents' house, so I am using the garden table as my desk. I may have to move inside later as I think it's meant to rain this afternoon, but yeah, hopefully I can get a bit of work done out here before it rains. Also, I have actually started learning some stuff in Spanish today before I filmed this intro. I watched a YouTube video in Spanish, and I also watched 3 news clips on Euronews, which is basically a really good site for learning another language because they have news clips in multiple different languages. I use it for German, Spanish and French, and you can watch the news clips, and then underneath the clip, like underneath the video, they have like the text, so you can then read through the text and figure out if you actually understood what was being said. I feel like reading in another language is definitely a lot easier than listening, because you have time to focus on every little word and you can see how every little word is written, and when there is a new word that you haven't seen before, it's very easy to look up that word in a dictionary. So yeah, that's what I did. I watched the clips in Spanish and then I read through the text to see how much I had understood, and basically looked up any words that were new to me, and I think I only looked up like 2 or 3 in one of the videos on Euronews, so I'm quite proud of myself for that. Yes, quite proud indeed. So I'm going to move on to vocab learning now. I use Memrise a lot to learn vocab, so I'm going to use Memrise in a bit, but before I do that, I've decided to find a list of Spanish idioms online. I did this a while ago. I found a list of Spanish idioms online and basically wrote them all down. I need to staple them together. If you know of any good Spanish idioms, leave them down below in the description box, because I feel like I haven't got as many for Spanish as I have for German, because for German I managed to find a list of like 600 plus idioms, including like Swiss German idioms as well, which was like really interesting, because Swiss German's so different to German. But anyway, on to Spanish. So yeah, I found some idioms, and I think every day that I focus on Spanish, I am going to try and learn one of the idioms. So yeah, before I get on with just general vocab learning on Memrise, I'm going to try and learn one idiom, and that's going to be the first one on this list because I haven't actually started learning them yet, and that is subirse al carro. Sounded like I was saying carol. Subirse al carro. Yeah, I can't speak Spanish, and that means to jump on the bandwagon. So yeah, I'm going to try and learn that. I'm going to put it in a text-to-speech app because I just feel like I'm not pronouncing that correctly, and yeah, maybe write it out a few times, cover right check, and then at the end of the day I'm going to come back to it and see if I remember it. So yeah, each day or each time that I decide to focus on Spanish, I'm going to try and learn a new idiom from this list, and also before I learn that new idiom from that list, I'm going to look over the idioms that I've previously learned and just see if I remember them. And here I'm just working through an A-level Spanish course on Memrise, despite the fact that I'm not doing an A-level in Spanish, and I like to say each of the words aloud as I find it easier to memorise them that way. So yeah, that's why it looked like I was talking to myself in that time lapse that you just saw. Okay, so I did about 40 minutes of learning vocab, and now I'm going to move on to grammar, because it's all well and good knowing words in another language, but if you don't understand the grammar behind forming sentences, what are you going to do with all of those words? How are you going to have a conversation? So yeah, a while ago when I was like sorting out through my room and chucking out some old stuff, I found this bad boy, AS, aka Spanish Grammar Workbook. Yeah, this was from when I was doing my AS level back in Spanish when I was like 17, and I looked through it and I literally completed like 3 of the exercises in here, like in pen, which is annoying because I can't do those ones, but the point is I literally completed like no exercises in here, which is probably why I ended up getting a D in AS Spanish, not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm going to basically use this now, because although I'm no longer doing A-level Spanish, I still need to know the basic grammar. And I feel like because I'm not speaking Spanish every day, because I don't have anybody to speak Spanish to, and I'm not at university having classes where we go over the basics of grammar. That's the thing, even though I'm at university not studying A-levels anymore, we still go over all of the grammar that you had to learn at A-levels anyway, because you know you don't want to be forgetting the basic grammar. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna like work through this book for an hour and see how many exercises I get done. I'm just gonna work through in order, so it'll be like starting off with the most basic stuff. I think the first page is on a Spanish on nouns. The first page is on nouns, so yeah, but you know, you need to understand the grammar behind the nouns as well. And yeah, there's answers to all of the like questions in the back of the book, so it's really useful. I don't know if you can still buy this book, as I feel like as I know, like the A-level what's the word, specification, curriculum, the A-level curriculum, I think that's it, has changed since I was 17. I would have been 18 actually when I did my AS exam in Spanish. Yeah, it's changed since I was 18 a lot, so I don't know if you can still get hold of this one, but yeah, definitely a grammar workbook of some sort is good. And you know what, you probably could get this one on like eBay or Depop, like a used one, because if someone's like just done all of the exercises in pencil, you can just grab them out and do them again, which is why I think I'm going to start working for it in pencil, so that in the future I can use this book again. After having worked on this Spanish grammar book for about an hour, I started reading some of the book that I've been reading in Spanish, and yeah, cue another really bad time-lapse, probably one of the worst time-lapse you've ever seen. It literally looks like my camera was moving, like, I don't know, maybe I need to put it on a tripod instead of a gorilla pod next time I take a time-lapse. Just to update you all, it's now coming up to about 4 o'clock, and I've just finished reading for the day. I've almost finished that book now, Los Ritos del Agua. You may have heard me mention it in a previous video that I uploaded, I think about a month ago. It's taken me quite a while to get through this book because I'm a slow reader as it is, and I'm reading it in Spanish, so it takes me a bit longer. And I'm doing a lot of reading for my dissertation and working on my dissertation, which is in German a lot, so I don't get round to reading that book every day. I read it more like once or twice a week, so it is taking me a while to get through it. I've almost finished it now though, and I would have probably finished it today if I actually took it to the park with me on Sunday. So on Sunday I took the book to the park with me, got it out and thought, oh, I haven't folded the page. I usually fold the page so I can keep track of which chapter I'm on. And I was like, oh, I haven't finished it. I think it was about here, so I just started reading it. And I was like, oh, this all sounds really familiar, like, I swear this has happened before, and I swear someone said that, but I didn't think anything of it. And then today, when I started reading the book, I opened it up, and the page was folded on, like, 378 or something, and I was like, weren't I on page, like, 415? And then I realised that I took the first book in the trilogy, El Silencio de la Ciudad Blanca, with me to the park on Sunday instead. So I randomly started rereading the first book of the trilogy from like almost towards the end. So yeah. So I think I'm going to look for something in Spanish to watch on Netflix for a bit now. Oh, I've got my, being careful not to spill it, my third cup of tea of the day. So yeah, and I've got some biscuits, so I'm gonna watch some Spanish shows on Netflix to kind of chill whilst still practicing some Spanish. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did take a bit of a break between reading that book and then coming on to Netflix. And yeah, I'm gonna find something now to watch on Netflix. I'm thinking of watching Control Z. Because I've seen a lot of trailers coming up for that, and it's in Spanish. Like every time I go on Netflix there's a trailer coming up for it, so maybe I'll start watching that. So yeah. Hola, hoy es viernes, so it's been a couple of days since I tried to intensively learn Spanish. for a day, just like an update on how that went. I definitely spent quite a lot of time immersing myself in Spanish. Obviously it was impossible to fully immerse myself in Spanish for the day because I live with other people, I live with my family, they do not speak Spanish, so they speak English to me, so I couldn't fully immerse myself in Spanish. So yeah, definitely didn't end up like fully immersing myself in just Spanish, but I did watch like 3 episodes of Control Z, and I did do some exercises on the lyrics training. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Yeah, and oh, the idiom, update on the idiom, subirse al carro. I remembered it, to jump on the bandwagon. Don't forget it, and yeah, hit that big red subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos from me. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, follow me on Instagram and all of that lovely stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!